From the editors of Cook's Illustrated magazine, it's America's Test Kitchen. With your host, Christopher Kimball. Featuring Test Kitchen chefs Julia Collin-Davison, Bridget Lancaster, Becky Hayes, with Adam Reed in the Equipment Corner and Jack Bishop in the Tasting Lab. Discover the secrets of America's foremost food testers and tasters. Today on America's Test Kitchen. Today on America's Test Kitchen, Becky uncovers the secrets to foolproof fried rice. Next, Adam reveals his top pick for smoker boxes in the Equipment Corner. Finally, Julia shows Chris how to make the ultimate Thai grilled beef salad. That's all right here on America's Test Kitchen. America's Test Kitchen is brought to you by DCS by Fisher & Paykel. America's cooks rely on innovation and culinary precision. DCS by Fisher & Paykel, offering premium indoor and outdoor kitchen appliances.
And by Kohler, inspiring home chefs to create a professional level kitchen with innovative sinks, faucets, and cook centers. Kohler.
And by Diamond Crystal Salt for the professional chef and those who want to cook like one. Diamond Crystal, the gourmet choice. By Cooking.com, an online retailer for the kitchen enthusiast. If it's not in your kitchen, try ours. By Plum Amazins, diced dried plums from Sunsweet for amazing recipes. By Miracle Grow, the gardener's friend. By California Avocados. And by Chateau San Michel.
Okay, I got a couple things to say to you. Because I know what happens when I cook with Becky. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to pick a recipe I can't pronounce. Okay.
Perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I know this. And it's going to be from like Southeast Asia or something like that.
Could be.
And it's going to have ingredients that I can't find, much less have ever heard of. Okay, what's the name of the recipe we're doing today?
It's called nasi goreng.
Yeah, see, nasal goreng. Okay, so what is it? Let's start with that.
It's fantastic. It's Indonesian fried rice, and I promise you, you will love it, just like you always do.
Okay, well, I'm a believer in Becky, so we're starting with rice.
We're starting with the rice. Typically, fried rice is made with leftover rice, but since most Americans don't have that on hand, we had to find a way to recreate that really hard, firm texture that you get when rice is refrigerated overnight. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 cups of jasmine rice. You can also use regular long grain rice, and we're just going to rinse it. And this will remove all of the surface starches. We want a nice, firm, separate texture when the rice is cooked. So I'm just rinsing until the water runs clear. That looks good. So if you would turn the heat to medium there, I have 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So in goes the rice. And we're just coating the rice grains in oil, another step that will keep the rice separate as it cooks.
Okay, it's time for a little quiz now for you.
Uh-oh.
Now, I did a little history. A few months ago, I was looking at fried rice and the ingredients people use around the world, and fried chicken and barbecue pork and white sauce and red sauce. In Hawaii, what's a very common ingredient they add, main ingredient with fried rice?
I know the answer.
What?
Spam.
Nah, spam. How did you know that?
Look who you're talking to.
So there's no spam today, right? We're leaving the spam out?
No spam in this one. So that's been about 30 seconds. All the grains are evenly coated. Now I'm adding 2 2/3 cup of water, and that's a little bit less water than we would typically add. Typically we use a 3-to-2 ratio of water to rice when we're making rice, but I wanted to use a little bit less, and that's just one more thing that'll help the grains be a little bit firmer than you would typically have. So let's bring that heat up to high. We want this to come to a boil. So we brought this up to a boil. Now if you would turn the heat down to low, I'll put the lid on and we'll let that simmer. It'll take 18 minutes to cook.
Okay.
Looks great. So the heat's off. Let's put a towel on top of the rice. I'll put the lid back on and we'll let that sit for 8 minutes. The rice will actually continue to cook a little bit as it steams off the heat.
And the towel absorbs the liquid?
Exactly.
Okay.
So after 8 minutes, I'll spread the rice out on a baking sheet, let it cool at room temperature for 10 minutes, and then I'll put it in the fridge for 20 minutes. So while the rice is in the fridge, we'll do some preliminary work before we actually get to frying the rice.
Is this what you call preliminary work?
Just a little
More
bit.
than a couple of ingredients? Okay.
It's gonna be worth it. Just stay with me. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a substitute for an Indonesian ingredient called sambal, which is not that easy to find, but making your own is super easy, and I actually think it tastes better because it's fresh. So We're starting with 5 Thai chilies. And you could take the seeds out if you wanted a less spicy dish, but I want to have this.
I would take the seeds out immediately, yes.
But you want some spiciness. This dish is sweet as well, so you need some heat to counter that. So these are 5 Thai chilies. You could also use 2 serranos or 2 jalapenos if you couldn't find Thai chilies. 4 shallots, just peeled, and 4 cloves of garlic. So those go into the food processor. And I'll give this 15 pulses. We just want to get everything minced up. That smells good. Whoa. My eyes are...
Oh, it's a little spicy for you, is it?
a little.
Yeah, Becky goes, doesn't bother me at all. Now she's crying.
These are tears of joy. Now next we need to make a substitute for something called ketchup mayonnaise, and it's a sweet soy sauce. We're making that with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of molasses, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, and the Indonesian recipe calls for shrimp paste, another hard to find ingredient. Adding 2 tablespoons of fish sauce gives just the right mild fishy taste. 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, and 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. Now we need to make a fried shallot garnish. So that's 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. If you'll turn the heat to medium for me. And I have 3 shallots that are thinly sliced. And we're gonna fry these until they get nice and crispy. It takes 6 to 10 minutes. So you can see the shallots are nice and dark and crispy.
Shallot's something that's used in Southeast Asia as an ingredient.
Shallots are used all the time in Southeast Asian cooking, so this is actually really authentic. And I'm gonna save all of this oil. We'll use this oil for our stir fry.
Yeah, you could sell it as shallot oil online and probably charge $40 for a pint.
I'd make a fortune. Just want to season those with a little bit of salt while they're hot. So the next thing we need to do is to make an omelet. The dish is often served with either a fried egg or an omelet. So I'm going to wipe our skillet out here. And if you'll turn the heat back to medium for me. There's a teaspoon of our hot oil. And I have 4 eggs here. I'm just going to whip these up with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we'll make 2 omelets, so we'll do half of the eggs at a time. Just want to swirl the egg in the skillet. And then I have a lid over there. Don't need to flip it or anything. It takes 1.5 minutes and it'll be ready.
So this isn't our usual 15-step French omelet. This is just a real simple cook the eggs in a skillet, right?
This is as easy as it gets.
Okay.
Yeah, so can't complain about that part.
Oh yes, I could.
Let's take a look. We want this to be just a little bit brown on the bottom. It's great. That's just what I want. So we'll slide that right out onto a cutting board, and we'll make a second omelet. So another teaspoon of oil goes in the pan, the last of the eggs. So then we just take the omelets, roll it up. We're going to cut it into cute little spirals that will go on top of the finished dish. So here's our rice. It's been in the
Really? Is that what it is?
It's been in the fridge for 20 minutes. And if you want to go ahead and get our oil heating, you can turn that to medium. That's 3 tablespoons of the shallot oil that we've been using. So I just want to break up any clumps of the rice with my fingers. It's important at this stage of the recipe to have all of your ingredients ready. Things are going to finally start to move pretty quickly. So here's that homemade chili mixture that we made with the garlic and the chilies and the shallot. And we'll cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes. Everything's getting nice and soft and golden. And I have 3/4 pound of large shrimp. I've peeled, deveined them, and cut them into thirds. So if you want to increase the heat to medium-high. And we'll cook these just for about 2 minutes. Not until they're fully cooked, but we just want them to start soaking up all the good flavors from that chili mixture. Okay, so you can see the shrimp are just starting to get some color at the edges. We make a clearing in the center of the skillet here. And I have that sweet soy sauce mixture with the molasses and the brown sugar. Now you can really smell everything. Let that thicken up for a minute. Time to add the rice.
I'm getting really interested now.
Finally,
So
I got your attention.
Is all that rice going to fit in here?
It'll fit. It's going to be a tight fit, but we'll get it in there. We want to make a lot of this because it's really good. So we just want to fold the rice and the sauce. So the shrimp is still cooking at this point. That's why we didn't want it fully cooked. So we're letting this cook just for about 3 minutes, let all the flavors come together. I'm adding 4 thinly sliced scallions, just for a little bit of color and a little fresh flavor. And we are ready to eat. Put it onto a serving platter. Yeah, that looks great. Lots of different smells coming. You can smell sort of a sweet smell, spicy. Can't wait. Let me give you a dish, and I have all of our garnishes. The nice little egg spirals that we made. There's our shallots. Some cucumber and tomatoes really commonly served with this, just for a little bit of freshness. And this is also nice with a little squeeze of lime on top.
Can I eat now?
Go for it. You don't have to say anything, and I can tell how much you like it.
I mean, I don't have to say, Becky, you were right. Do I have to say that?
Well, that wouldn't hurt.
This is why you do this to me. So this nasi goreng, did I say it right?
Got it right.
I mean, this is just turbocharged sort of stir-fry mashed with stir-fry rice. Some of the ingredients are hard to find, so you made your own. You used brown sugar, molasses, Thai chilies, garlic, a little omelet, a lot of garnishes. So you take a lot of flavor and put it into a basic stir-fry and turn out something that's really a whole meal. So from America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, a fabulous recipe for a turbocharged stir-fry called nasi goreng. It's a winner. She did it. You did it again.
Again.
You're gonna fail sometimes.
I hope not.
Hope not. Back in the 1960s, the Surgeon General decided that smoking was very bad for your health, but here at America's Test Kitchen, especially when we're outside, we love to smoke. We love to smoke foods on a gas or charcoal grill. Now, on a gas grill, we use wood chips, we soak them, we put them in aluminum foil pack, puncture the top, and put them on the grill, and we wondered if there was a better way, so I'm here with Adam Reed, the Equipment Corner, to look at the concept of smoker boxes.
I love the days where we do grill smoking at the Test Kitchen, Chris, because as you said, our old method is to take the soaked wood chips, put them in a foil pouch, and then you need to create an escape route for the smoke that's coming out. So you stab it all over the place with a paring knife to make little vent holes, and you work out your aggressions.
I think it's time for retirement, Adam. It's
I'm
done.
having a bad day and I have a knife. Step back. But there is actually a less violent and more permanent solution, and that's these 4 smoker boxes that we tested. The price range was $7 to $82, believe it or not. 82 bucks for one of these things. And the idea is simple. You just open up the top. Why don't you do that? Fill it up with the soaked wood chips, put the top back on, and then this thing sits between the grate and the burners on the gas grill. It goes right on the burners. As it heats up, it starts smoldering the wood chips and they release the smoke and flavor the food. There are 2 different materials here. This one that we just demoed is cast iron. The rest of these are stainless steel. Our test was grill smoked chicken. We used each one of these smoker boxes on its own grill and our old method, the foil pouch, as a control. And tasters tasted the chicken and sort of assessed the intensity and the quality of the smoke flavor to see if there was any difference.
And this is a blind tasting.
This is a blind tasting, absolutely. They didn't know what they were tasting. And you know what? There actually was a difference. People really liked the smoky flavor that came from this cast iron smoker box. That's because cast iron heats up slowly. It allowed the wood chips to really smolder and release smoke at a nice even flow, and it kept them going for a long time. In the chicken, it created sort of a nice, light, sweet, balanced, smoky flavor. Some of these stainless steel models would heat up really quickly, allow the chips to heat up, they would belch out a ton of smoke, and that kind of gave us a harsh, slightly ashy, overly smoky flavor in some of these things. Another issue was the size of these.
Yeah, just too big, right?
Look at this. Yeah. This is actually a little over 2 inches tall, and remember, this has got to fit between the grate and the burners. This didn't fit in all the gas grills we looked at, whereas this one, which is 1 inch tall, fit no problem regardless of the grill we used for testing. This is sort of an interesting one. This is V-shaped, as you can see, because some gas grills have V-shaped burner bars and it will sit flat right between the burner bars. But again, it was stainless steel. It really created a lot of smoke. It didn't give the flavor that we liked the best. So in the end, this one was the winner, and it was better than our old method with the foil pouch. This is the Grill Pro cast iron smoker box. It's only $8.50. Reusable, creates the perfect balanced wood smoke flavor.
You know, I love it when cast iron wins. It's $8.50 Grill Pro. It does a better job than the $82 one, and hey, it lasts forever.
Now I have to find a new way to get my aggressions out, though.
Well, yeah, go hit this.
No
You're all
way.
set.
I'm Doc Willoughby. I'm here in New York City at Chi Thai Restaurant, and we're here to see if we can teach even a Yankee like Chris Kimball something about Thai food. Fortunately, we have a great expert with us. We're here with Pishay Ong, who's the chef of the restaurant. Pishay, for people who aren't familiar with Thai food, can you give us a sort of a little overview of the flavor dynamics of Thai food?
It's a balance of sweet and sour, salty and sweet, and as well as spice. The flavor approach of Thai food is it's a little bit more gutsy than Northern Asia, such as China or Japan. It tends to hit you on first impression with spice, and then as you eat more of it, you get to detect the other profile.
Right.
Predominantly, I think is sweet and sour also, which is mixed in a very unique way.
So, how about if we go into the kitchen and you can show us some techniques of Thai cooking?
Okay, let's do it.
So, what are you going to make for us?
I'm going to be making a chicken and string bean salad.
Chicken and string bean salad?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's go.
This is one of my most favorite salad in Thai cooking. It has minced chicken that is just quickly blanched in chicken stock. Here's red onion, a bit of peanut, scallion, string bean, toasted coconut. Here's some cilantro. And
So it's all very fresh ingredients.
yeah. And here's mint, which I like to tear up in big pieces. Lightly toss all the ingredients together.
That looks great.
And then after that, here's the sauce. This is made from roasted chili, caramelized shallots, fish sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, palm sugar. You just mix it together. And then you can finish it with final touches, a little bit more of the crunchy coconut, peanut, and my favorite, which is fried shallots.
Nice.
The fried shallots gives it a bit of a caramelized flavor as well. And here is a soft poached egg. There you go, chicken and
Looks
string bean
beautiful.
salad.
I'm not going to put one of the chilies in there, but I am going to put some of the egg in there. Wow.
Did you get the string bean as well?
I did.
You see how the
Salty, sour, bitter, crunchy, creamy, sweet. It's awesome. That is really delicious. PJ, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Doc.
We've learned a lot. And Chris, we've done our best to teach you enough so that you can make something that's somewhere near as good as this.
Thanks, Doc, for a little bit of information about Thai cooking. Today we're going to do Thai grilled beef salad. And the first question is, what cut of beef to use? And that's actually a fairly easy question to answer. And the answer, of course, is flank steak. This is what is often used in stir fry. It's a nice thin cut, has a lot of beefy flavor, not too expensive. You do want to cook it quick and hot. Also want to slice it across the grain, but it's perfect for stir fry. So let's bring in Julia. And there we have our flank steak. It's about 2 pounds.
That's right.
And it's meaty, beefy, has great taste.
And not too expensive. So a lot of recipes we found for this salad marinate the steak first to give it some flavor, of course, but that gets in the way of grilling. It really prevents the steak from getting a good crust. So we're not going to marinate it before cooking. We're going to marinate it after. Okay. So just before cooking, all we're going to do, season it with some salt and white pepper. White pepper, a little bit of a sharper flavor than black pepper and more traditional. And that's it. That's all the steak needs before we throw it on the grill. Now, in terms of this salad, the flavor components are pretty crucial, and that's what makes up a lot of Thai cuisine. It's hot, sour, salty, sweet, and of course you have the char from the beef, and we're going to add an earthy component as well. But getting those flavors to really be in balance with one another is what took us a lot of testing. And the other thing we had to do is find replacements for some hard-to-find Thai ingredients, one of which is dried Thai chili powder, which you have there.
It's right here. Yep, there we are.
So that's Thai chilies that have been dried and ground up. Hard to find in the U.S., but easy to replicate if you use a teaspoon of cayenne and a teaspoon of sweet paprika. So what you want to do is toast these for about a minute over medium heat until you start to smell their aroma, and that really helps bring out the nuances of their flavor.
And that's a tip for almost any recipe where you have spices like this, right?
Yeah.
Toast them for a minute or two in a saucepan.
That's right, and just a dry skillet. Oh, that smells good. And the next ingredient that we had to replicate is called kaukoa. It's a dried toasted rice powder, and you have
right
that
here.
there. Yeah, adds this really deep, meaty flavor. Hard to find in the U.S., but easy to make. This is just a tablespoon of long grain white rice, and we're going to toast it over medium-high heat for about 5 minutes till it gets good and golden. So while that's going, we're going to make our dressing for the salad, and of course, keeping in line with hot,
So you want me to do this, or are we just going to...
Yeah, well, I assumed you were going to keep an eye on it for me.
I hate to go driving with you. You just like stop driving, and it was like,
La, la, la.
I thought you were going to handle the steering wheel.
Nope, so about
Okay.
5 minutes. So now we're going to build the dressing of the marinade, and this is the sour component. It's 3 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. This is the salty component, fish sauce, and the salty fermented fish taste that is really classic in Thai cooking. We're going to mellow it all out with 2 tablespoons of water. And of course, the sweet component is half a teaspoon of sugar. And to this, we're going to add just a little bit of our toasted mixture of this cayenne and paprika, just a quarter of a teaspoon. And this will act as both the salad dressing and the marinade of the cooked steak once it comes off the grill.
Okay.
Well, that's getting pretty good. You can see the color of it is really getting dark and toasty. It'll continue to toast a little bit as we leave it off the heat in that hot skillet. We're gonna let that cool and deal with it later and head out to the grill. So this grill's been heating up for about 15 minutes with all the burners on high.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice and hot. So now's the perfect time to clean the grill, of course. And this grill looks pretty good. I'm just gonna scrape off any remaining gunk that's stuck on the grill grates and give it a quick wipe down with some oil. All right, so the grill is nice and hot. And you know, our flank steak's pretty little, so we only need to really cook on one burner. We're gonna cook on the center burner. We're gonna lay the steak right on the hot grill. And there's a cool thing we learned when grilling this steak is that you can know when it's time to flip it over when you see beads of water forming on the edges of the steak. So you can start to see the moisture starting to creep out right here along the edge of the steak.
This is for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually see it.
All right, so that's how you know it's a good time to flip the steak over.
Look at that.
Yeah. And we're gonna grill it about 5 minutes on this side. We're looking for a temperature of 125. That's a perfect medium rare. And of course, we have to let the steak rest for at least 10 minutes for the juices to reabsorb. But because we're gonna put this on a salad, you could actually let it rest for up to an hour. So tenting it, of course, and we'll bring it inside.
Okay.
All right, so the steak has come off the grill and it's been resting for about 10 minutes. You can see that gorgeous char around the outside. That's good for flavor. And now the key to cutting flank steak, of course, is to cut it across the grain as thinly as you can.
So the grain's going this way.
That's right.
Okay.
And I'm going this way.
You're always going the wrong way.
I am. Oh, that looks so good. And as I said, we're gonna put it in the marinade now that it's cooked because, of course, the marinade would have gotten in the way of getting that nice crust.
Actually, that's a good technique for seafood sometimes on the grill, steaks, and for chicken sometimes. Put it right into marinade, let it sit. Yeah.
That's right. We're gonna take a look at our toasted rice. So you just wanna grind that to a nice powder. Perfect.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now half of this we're gonna add to the salad. Of course, that adds a nice crunch. And the rest we're gonna serve on the side as a garnish, which is pretty classic. Now here we have whole cilantro leaves. This is 1/2 cups of fresh cilantro leaves. And again, 1/2 cups of mint leaves, slightly torn. And this is really the bulk of the salad grains. And then also for the fresh heat, of course we have that dried cayenne in there, which gives it some heat. This is a fresh Thai bird chili. We're gonna leave the seeds in there and just slice it really thinly across into little rings. If you're at all sensitive to chilies, you should probably wear rubber gloves. I kind of have asbestos hands, but I'd be very careful not to rub my eyes, of course. And a good amount of shallots. This is 4 shallots. We're just gonna slice them crosswise very thinly into rings.
So when you get a large shallot that has 2 globes in it.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to upset you. You just divide them and then treat
That's
each
right.
one separately?
That's right. So again, that's 4 shallots sliced thin. That's it, that's the salad. Oh, that smell of the mint and the fish sauce and the cilantro, I love it. And you line the platter with cucumbers. And that's 1 cucumber sliced nicely on the bottom. Doesn't that look good?
Yeah, it looks great.
Nice and fresh.
I sort of expect Bridget to run and pour fat on this right now. She's very upset, I'm sure. This is much too healthy.
It is quite a lean salad. Doesn't that look good?
It does look great.
It's good.
Because sometimes we used to grill steaks, slice them, put them over salad, which, you know, tastes fine. This tastes about 10 times better. It's got a little bit of heat in it, but not too much.
Perfectly balanced.
So our recipe for Thai grilled beef salad started with a flank steak, a little white pepper and salt both sides on a very hot grill. We used the marinade not before but after with fish sauce and lime juice. We had a little mint leaves and cilantro for the greens, and then we made 2 ingredients from Thai cooking ourselves, a little rice, which was toasted, rice powder, and then we had paprika, we had cayenne to make our own Thai ground beef chili powder. There you have it for America's Test Kitchen, your kitchen, a fabulous recipe for make-at-home Thai grilled beef salad. If you like this recipe and all the recipes from this season of America's Test Kitchen, as well as tastings, you can view selected episodes as well. Go to americastestkitchentv.com, and you can also follow us, including me, believe it or not, on Twitter and also on Facebook.
America's Test Kitchen is brought to you by DCS by Fisher & Paykel. America's cooks rely on innovation and culinary precision. DCS by Fisher & Paykel, offering premium indoor and outdoor kitchen appliances. For over 50 years, Miracle-Gro products have helped home chefs grow fresh vegetables and herbs. Miracle-Gro soils and plant foods provide the essential nutrients plants need to grow bountiful produce. Gardening tips are available online at miraclegro.com. By Cooking.com, an online retailer for the kitchen enthusiast. If it's not in your kitchen, try ours. Chateau San Michel. Digital wine cellar and pairings can be found online. From our hands to your table. Recipes available at californiaavocado.com. And by Kohler. Diamond Crystal Salt, the gourmet choice. Plum Amazins from Sunsweet.